Hello and welcome back to Twixt Tarot. My name is Gwen, or you can call me Twixt. I answer to both. And welcome to my little corner of the Tarot Tube community or Tarot community here on YouTube. But I'm over in New Zealand, and I am glad you're here. I wanted to take a quick 20 minutes or so to flip through a newer deck to my collection that I bought from a friend of mine in New York. This one is called The Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant, and it is basically a collection of oil paintings that Lacey did, I think, pre-2019. I think it took probably 5 or 6 years for her to paint them all, and then it was a Kickstarter deck in 2019. So this was right around the time I started deep diving into tarot again. So I didn't know about Kickstarter at this time, I don't think, and definitely flew under my radar for a very long time. And for some reason, because my brain likes to make really weird connections or just get names mixed up, I used to get this deck confused with the Slow Hauler Tarot a lot because the names are similar. And if you know anything about the Slow Hauler Tarot, that one is very hard to find and rarely comes up for sale. And I don't really see this one come up for sale much either. So I had seen this artwork floating around, but because of my brain mixing it up with Slow Hauler Tarot, I decided that it was never going to be part of my collection because it was too hard to find. But little did I know, my friend was planning on selling it as she was downsizing her collection for a big move that she's doing. So I jumped at the opportunity to grab it. If you do like this deck, it is still on sale at the Modern Eden Gallery website. Which I don't know if this gallery is directly connected to the artist or not, but it is where I guess the artwork is displayed. I think you can actually buy some of the art still, like the original paintings. But I'll just read a little blurb from the Modern Eden Gallery website about the deck before I start to flip through. It says the Slow Tarot deck features 80 full-color tarot cards printed on 310 GSM linen paper. The cards have a slight texture which makes them both tactile, durable, and easy to shuffle. And I have to say, I love this cardstock so much. It reminds me of Playful Tarot and Maria Tarot and Pagan Otherworlds Tarot. I wonder if it's by the same printer. I'm not sure. I'll try and find out. Anyway, back to the blurb. It says, let's see, included in each order is a dedicated guidebook produced by the artist specifically for this deck. The deck ships in a full-color two-piece box, which is adorned with an alternate version of the world. Our goal with this project was to create a high-quality tarot deck that can be enjoyed for many years to come. As each card features a unique painting, you'll essentially own 78 mini prints of the artwork. The deck is suitable for both beginners, enthusiasts, and the advanced tarot reader, and also makes a great gift for those interested in art. Each suit in the deck is identified by a color, and the elements of fire, water, air, and earth are reflected in the colors chosen for the borders. The aces have also received special treatment and have been designed completely borderless. The back of every card is identical and features a beautiful line drawing designed by Lacey. So if you want to see the cards in their entirety, they're all available on this webpage, which is at moderneden.com. And yeah, it looks like this gallery does represent the artist for this project. And I guess she's been around on the art scene for quite a while there. She began this series in 2013, shortly after her first solo exhibition at the gallery, and then grew the scope and the ambition in the ensuing years. So, let's see, this deck is now in its 4th printing. They do ship worldwide, and for the first time since the Kickstarter, it includes 2 bonus cards. I don't know which bonus cards those are, actually. But I will have a look through and see if I can figure it out. I probably can't. I haven't watched anybody else's flip through of this, so it's a little adventure that you're coming on with me. So again, 78 full color tarot cards plus 2 bonus cards from the original Kickstarter edition are available. Maybe this isn't that version. Premium linen cardstock, and the guidebook has 24 pages. Published by Modern Eden, it says on the website. But to me, it really reminds me of the cardstock from Playful Heart Tarot very much. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same printing company, although this does say made in China, and I think the printing company I like is in New York, so maybe it's not. Who knows? I have no idea. The guidebook and the deck come in this very pretty glossy finish 2-piece box. It has a nice snug fit, so usually I don't like boxes like this, but when the deck is in it and you hold it upside down, well, when the deck is not in it and you hold it upside down, the lid doesn't come off. It doesn't come off if you hold it just by the top either, but yeah, always be careful with decks like this. It does tell you to take it slow, take your time. So I guess that is what this deck is all about. Quick look at the guidebook here. We get just text only, no images, with a foreword by Drew Clark. I'm guessing Drew is part of the gallery, but I'm not sure. Apologies, I did not look that up before now. Let's see. Oh, maybe Drew Clark is who taught her about tarot. So he says, I had already known Lacey for years prior to her approaching me with the request to teach her tarot. Her work, full of phantasmagorical imagery and symbolism that challenges viewers to examine the recesses of their own half-explored psyches, was already such an inspiration to me that I couldn't help but feel honored when we started to talk about the project that would become the Slow Tarot. I was a little confused about why she approached me for tutelage instead of just seeking out the plethora of resources available that aim to teach aspiring fortune tellers the art of fortune telling, but she wanted to learn in the authentic, slow manner that I had been taught. I don't know who Drew Clark is. I'm going to have to go down a rabbit hole on this. There's a brief explanation of what tarot is here, and a little bit about seekers and guides, where it says the role of the guide is to handle the cards, to know how the spread operates, and to present the meaning of the cards to the seeker. So basically reader and querent, if you're familiar with that vocabulary. And it kind of gives you a little milestone of what success looks like in a reading. Then there's a little bit of information here about traditional readings, helpful tips for beginning guides and first-time seekers. I might have to explore this in more depth when I include my write-up on my website, because that looks like a cool section. Then there's a section on interpretation. So this guidebook right off the bat gives me more than I bargained for. And it tells you, the interpretation of a card depends on the juxtaposition of 3 elements: the meaning of the card, the meaning of the position in the spread, and the situation at hand. And then we go into the breakdown of the major arcana, and each card has a description of the card, or maybe more interpretation, and then some keywords for upright and reversed. Going all the way through to the Lesser Arcana, we get a little description about what the Lesser Arcana are, and then they talk about the suits, which is cool, and sort of what the suits stand for and govern, and then the numbers or the pips. So they do say, where did I see it? Oh no, must have been somewhere else that I read that. The numbers or pips, numbered from ace to 10, the Lesser Arcana of the Slow Tarot, corresponds more with the beats, joys, and sorrows that color the grand moments of our lives than with momentous events associated with the cards of Major Arcana. So it's best to see these cards as refinements or influences on the situation at hand, or as warnings of hinted calamity. That sounds pretty dramatic. So I guess this is one of those decks that, bring the drama. This is what I remember reading earlier. So it says, the best way to memorize these cards, considering that there are so many, is to remember that what the number of the card means, and then apply that meaning to the themes of the relevant suit. And that is sort of exactly how I break down cards in my head when I'm first looking at them. They give you a breakdown of each number, and then sort of within the number, a breakdown of the suit, which is lovely. And I think, if anybody is keeping their own sort of, database of keywords on what different cards mean to them, this would be worth looking through to see if there's anything new in here that you haven't covered before. So that's pretty cool. I thought it was interesting that the court cards, the order of the court cards in this book go in the Thoth order instead of the Rider-Waite-Smith. So I don't know if Drew follows the Thoth system more than Rider-Waite-Smith, but that order goes King, Queen, Knight, Page. And they do talk about the court cards being more represented personalities and qualities. So that's, I think, a really good, for only being, that has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It really is only 24 pages. That's wild. They packed so much information into this little guidebook. So well done to you, Lacey and Drew. Very cool. And now is the fun part where we get to look at the cards. So I will zoom in here and maybe move the table just a little. There we go. So this is the gorgeous back. It is reversible, which I love. And the cards are quite springy. You can kind of see that linen finish there on the reflection. I love this cardstock. It's really fun to shuffle. This deck doesn't have the same smell as the other decks that I mentioned, and I know that sounds weird. But I am a deck sniffer. Anywho, yeah, gorgeous colored back. It reminds me of the second edition of the El Goliath Tarot with this color back. It's sort of a mahogany brown with a golden color. And now is the fun part. So you can really see how each of these cards is a painting. They are beautiful. I'll just go ahead and flip through though, because I don't want to waffle on. I'm trying to keep my flip through videos sort of 30 minutes or less. Right, so we've got the Fool. And the border on the majors is sort of a inky black color. Love that Magician. Right off the bat, there is like a heaviness to this deck, or a sorrow almost. So I have a feeling this is a deck that, you know, might not be the one you choose when you want gentle, uplifting, inspirational messages, but maybe more rather some gritty truth. That's beautiful. Lady Luck. Looking a little worse for wear there. That's really cool. I like that. Okay, now we got the aces. Again, the aces are borderless. I love this Ace of Cups. That's pretty cool. You don't really see these creatures a lot. And I can't remember their proper name. But, you know, the mythological, like, half horse, half fish creature. They have a name. That Page of Cups is beautiful. That one really shows thoughts racing, doesn't it? It's always a little hard for me to get the last suit. There's so many details in all these cards. I really love all the symbols that have been woven in. I'm so glad I got this deck. I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy this deck for many, many readings to come. And there you have it. Right on cue, my daughter is ready to transition to a different activity. But that, again, is the Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant. No, sorry, Bryant. Sorry, Lacey. The Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant. And thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have this deck, what kind of messages it brings you, and, you know, what you like to use it for. Thanks, bye.